Been said that hypocrisy is the tribute that vice pays to virtue. I have to admit, I'm enjoying listening to my Democrat colleagues suddenly discover the virtues of the rule of law after 4 years where they brazenly supported the most lawless Department of Justice and the most politically weaponized Department of Justice our nation has ever seen. We just heard the senator from Rhode Island talk about the imperative of protecting judges. And yet not a single Democrat senator cared about the violent protesters that showed up outside Supreme Court justices' homes, including, I might note, female justices like Justice Amy Coney Barrett, threatening their family. And Joe Biden's attorney general didn't do a damn thing and refused to enforce the law to protect those judges. Why? Because he agreed with the violent protesters and he wanted to intimidate and threaten those judges. Professor Bray, under our Constitution, who should decide elections, the voters or unelected judges?
The voters are the ones who should vote in the election according to the laws, and the laws sometimes have to be applied by the judges if there are cases.
And under our Constitution, who is charged with making policy decisions, elected representatives elected by the people or unelected federal judges?
I think the question of policy, Senator, is a little broader than the particular case. So the laws should be enacted by Congress. That's where the fountain of law.
Policy decisions are the elected branches.
Right.
Law is the province of the court. Policy is the province of the elected branches. These are not complicated. Professor Bray, let me ask you this. Do the federal courts have power to issue remedies for people who are not parties to a case?
That's a question I agree is not complicated. They do not have that power.
Is the phrase nationwide injunction or universal injunction found anywhere in the Constitution?
It is not.
First chart. In the first 150 years of our republic, how many nationwide injunctions were issued?
My view is that there were not any until 1963.
0. Now fast forward. How many nationwide injunctions were issued in the entire 20th century?
It's a small number. I would think it would be a dozen, give or take. It's not large. 27,
actually. Excluding Trump's first term, how many nationwide injunctions were issued in the last 20 years?
Far more than that.
32. From 2001 to 2024 against Biden, Obama, and Bush, 32. And how many nationwide injunctions have been issued in the last 2 months alone?
There have been quite a few.
37. Let that sink in. There have been more nationwide injunctions in the past 2 months against President Trump than in the entire 20th century. There have been more nationwide injunctions against President Trump in the last 2 months than both terms of George W. Bush, both terms of Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's term. We saw during the Biden presidency lawfare, indicting President Trump 4 times, using the machinery of justice to attack him, and that was an attack on democracy because Democrats today hate democracy. Democrats today are angry at the voters for re-electing Donald Trump and electing a Republican Senate and a Republican House, and they engaged in lawfare to stop democracy from operating. Understand, this is the second phase of lawfare. Second chart. This is the second phase of lawfare. Now that their efforts to indict President Trump and stop the voters from re-electing him have failed, they're going and seeking out individual radical judges to try to shut down policies, and they are forum shopping like crazy. Give me any loon judge put on the bench by Obama or Biden who disagrees with a policy. We just saw a judge flagrantly ignore U.S. immigration law concerning TPS being revoked. U.S. law explicitly said there's no judicial review for that, but hey, they found a judge who says, you know what? We, the Democrat Party, we are the party of illegal aliens. We are the party of murderers and rapists and gang members, and the Democrat Party exists here to fight to keep murderers and rapists and gang members in your communities. There's a reason the Democrat Party is at 26% approval nationwide. because they put radical policies ahead of rule of law. Nationwide injunctions are an abuse of power. It is the judiciary acting as policy deciders, and it is incumbent on this committee and this body to rein in the abuse of power from these unelected radical judges who are trying to overturn the election because they disagree with what the voters decided.
Thank you, Senator Cruz. Senator Klobuchar.
Okay, that was a lot. Let me start with a few things. Number one, we love the democracy. And I believe what we should be having is a civil debate about how we can best, if Donald Trump wants to make changes to the government, we should be doing it in a legal way, not how he's doing it. And the only reason there's all these injunctions, Senator Cruz, is because he's violating the Constitution. Why would Trump-appointed judges...
Why don't you file them in red districts?
Senator Cruz.
Why? What did you just say?
Why don't you file them in red districts? Why are the Democrat attorneys general seeking out
Senator Cruz,
left-wing,
my
blue,
esteemed colleague,
quite patient with Senator Cruz's activities in this building.
Senator Whitehouse.
He's entitled to...
I'm just going to ask for a point of order. Madam Klobuchar, Senator Klobuchar.
Senator Moody, we have debates on this committee. They occur regularly.
Let's let her have her time, and then we'll get back to that. If you want to wait, we'll get back to Senator Cruz.
She's welcome
Senator
to answer the question or not.
Go ahead.
It's her choice.
Go ahead.
I'm so
and I would encourage you to answer.
Following Senator Cruz once again.
Excuse me?
But I will say
excuse me? I didn't hear you. What did you say?
To be following him. He and I have a long
I was permitting you your time to continue. To be following him in order. Excuse me. Go ahead, Senator Klobuchar.
During hearing.
Go ahead, Senator
That's what
Klobuchar.
I'm referring to.
Go ahead.
And I will take more than my time, since he's taken more than his time to yell at me.
Go ahead.
So what I will
mark
say is that...
I'm not yelling. I asked a question.
Senator Cruz, please. I'll give you time. Senator Klobuchar, I've got the time, and you'll be allotted
I
time.
am making the strong case that the reason all these cases have been filed, and the reason that these judges who have been appointed by Ronald Reagan, yes, they still exist, and the Bushes and Donald Trump, judges appointed by Donald Trump, have been making these decisions is because this is not legal. Donald Trump himself has used his social media account, the White House account, to post an image of himself wearing a crown saying, "Long live the king." The issue is that we do not live in a kingdom, and Elon Musk is not his court jester. Ours is a nation of laws in which no one is above the law. That is why 39 different judges from vastly different backgrounds, appointed by 5 different presidents, have made clear that these are illegal actions. And these judges have rightly blocked these actions. And it is important that we not lose sight of the underlying cause of these injunctions. It is not that these judges are crooked or lunatics or evil. Those are words used by the president and his allies. It is because the administration is violating the Constitution. What happens when they use these kinds of words? You see more and more threats against judges. And that is what we're seeing. That is why federal judges and the U.S. Marshals, who are responsible for protecting them, are sounding the alarm about a spike in threats against judges. This is serious. And unlike what Senator Cruz said, I'm remembering when the threat was made, the horrific threats, and the man was in Justice Kavanaugh's, on his neighborhood, on his street. On a bipartisan basis, we came together and got more funding for the judges and changed things so that they had more protection. So what he said was completely untrue in terms of Democrats and Republicans decrying violence. We didn't just decry the violence, we actually did something about it in response to a court that is run by Justice Roberts, who is a Republican appointee.
Oh my goodness.
So I think that kind of language actually
mute her
makes
for
the
me.
situation
Mute her for me.
worse
She's
when it's not
straight up
even true.
lying.
But unfortunately, Senator Cruz left, so he did not hear.
Mute her for me, because she's straight up lying. The only reason why the Democrats got involved when they were going to the Supreme Court justice's home to protest against them is because of the outcry, because how it was making them look. Remember even Karine Jean-Pierre, when she was the press secretary, thank God she's no longer there. But even when Karine Jean-Pierre was there, she was saying, look, we encourage people to peacefully protest. They had no issues with people going to the Supreme Court justice's home and trying to protest against them. They had no issues with it. None at all. Not a single bit of it. Remember, during the Summer of Love, you even had Kamala Harris saying, keep going, we'll bail you out. All of the violence that we've been seeing throughout the entire country has been coming from the left. 100%. 100%. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I just wanted to come out and share some of the hearing with Ted Cruz, because it was pretty good. It was absolutely really good. Ted Cruz showing the numbers of how they're going after President Trump. And of course, the Democrats, well, they did injunctions when Joe Biden was in office. Yeah, because Joe Biden was trying to pay off student loans. Rightfully so, there should have been one. But what the Democrats are doing, they're trying to go after President Trump to stop him from protecting the American people. Oh, how dare he remove these hardcore criminals outside of the country? How dare President Trump do such a thing? So they run in front of a judge, a radical leftist judge, to say, turn the plane around. It's a little different than the federal government paying off loans that people should be paying for versus the federal government deporting people that shouldn't even be in the country in the first place. There is a clear difference between that. But of course, the Democrats, they don't care. It gets to the point where you're talking about the U.S. Constitution. Then the Democrats, oh, wait a minute, but the Constitution, it says you need due process. See, they love to give illegals, criminals, terrorists rights when Americans don't get them. But today's a good day. Regardless of all the stuff that's going on, today is Liberation Day. Happy Liberation Day to you. Now, I got a couple things I want to share about this. Now, the whole thing with the Liberation Day is President Trump is finally putting his foot down and making sure America around the world is viewed as America first. When the world looks at America, they're going to like, oh, well, okay, those Americans, they're going to look at themselves first. They're not going to look at us first any longer. They're not going to put us in their sights first for helping us out first. They're going to help themselves first. This is the way the world's going to look. Liberation Day, that's what it's all about. April 2nd is going to go down in history as Liberation Day for the United States of America. I wonder, Shannon, it'd be nice if President Trump go ahead and do an executive order to make this like a national holiday. Liberation Day, kind of like 4th of July.
Oh, yeah, I'd like that.
Kind of like 4th of July, Liberation Day for the United States of America. Go ahead and do it, Trump. President Trump, let's go. I like the idea. It's like putting America first on April 2nd. And throughout history, years from now, they're going to go back and say, why didn't he put it on the first? Because then people would say it's April Fool's. And that's the reason why President Trump waited the day after. Today. Well, I do have a few things that I want to share with you on this. And of course, they're talking about how the tariffs are, impacting small businesses and how it's going to impact the American people. And the more I learn about these tariffs, the more I'm liking the idea of these tariffs. I really am. Because see, countries, they've been tariffing us 100%. And President Trump is saying, okay, if you're going to tariff us 100% for any goods or whatever that we send into your country, we're going to do the same. So it will be even Steven. It'll be equal. Right? Isn't that what we want? We want equality. And that's exactly what President Trump is doing.
TROs have been used historically by judges, and they haven't been immediately appealable. And it is in the proposed legislation that we change that practice through law.
Sorry, that's the wrong one.
Make sure that TROs
My producer got it on the wrong one.
Appealable.
Sorry. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, this is an exciting day, Liberation Day. This is the single greatest salvation for not just
small businesses, but for America. This country was traveling down an unsustainable path, and President Trump has been the only president that has had backbone to stand up to our allies and adversaries alike and say, we have to level the playing field. This is unfair. You're no longer going to take advantage of us. And man, I would not bet against America right now, because what's happening is you see investment coming in. You see $4 trillion in investment already in President Trump's first 2 months. You see trading partners coming to the table wanting to renegotiate. This is what it's about. It's about restoring fairness and opportunity to this nation, from small businesses to workers to our investments. And that's what this is about. And President Trump understands that.
You know, that's what it's all about. Fairness. Fairness. And you know what? Even though right now, to let everyone know, I'm like having some stuff going on in my life that I'm dealing with right now, but I'm hanging on, I'm holding on, because I can see what President Trump is doing. Not like the short term. See, the Democrats, they're using the fact that nothing has happened overnight. Except for some stuff has happened overnight. But I'm talking about as far as the economy. The Democrats use the fact that President Trump, what he's doing right now, things are like not happening overnight. Like, oh my goodness, it happened overnight. Look at this, it's wonderful. President Trump is looking for the long term. And I went to the gym this morning, and I was talking to one of the people that work at the gym, and, you know, he's a Trump supporter, and we're talking about it. And he brings up a really good point that, you know, President Trump, he's the captain of this ship. And this is a really, really big ship, you know, like those big cargo ships. Shannon, you ever see those cargo ships? And they talk about when those cargo ships need to make a turn, right? If they want to go, like, let's say they want to go back the other way, because with Joe Biden, the Democrats, Obama, all of them, what they've done, they took this country and they did a 180, meaning they went the opposite way the country should be going. Now that they did that, and they did it so dramatic, it caused a lot of damage, right? Because if a big cargo ship turns really sharp, stuff will tilt, stuff will fall off the boat, stuff inside the boat will get damaged. That's what the Democrats have done to the United States of America. They've damaged a lot. The motors were damaged. We got holes in the boat. We constantly have people pouring out water, getting water out the boat. One of the big cargo boat, right? People trying to plug it up. And that's what's happening right now. President Trump is not going to do a sharp turn 180. President Trump is going to make it longevity. And it takes a really long time for those big cargo ships to make a full turn. And that's what President Trump is doing with the United States of America. We actually have a captain that is guiding this ship the right way. And of course, the Democrats, they don't like it. They're so upset with President Trump because he's putting the country back on the right track. You know, when they made the statement that America is back, yes, America is back. But that doesn't mean that we get to sit down on the couch and relax and, you know, and just watch what President Trump does. We still have to do our part. We still have to do our part. And a lot of people don't even know what that part is. Right? A lot of people don't know what that part is. It means that you need to find out your local school board. It means that you need to find out your local politicians and phone calls to them. Phone calls to them and ask, you know, because you should be able to request updates. Well, what have you done? I need an email from you for 5 things that you accomplished last week. That's a great idea. Shouldn't we send all of our politicians that we voted for an email? That would be an awesome email campaign to the politicians that we voted for. 5 things that you accomplished last week. I don't want to hear this. Well, we're working on this. We're working on that. We're working on this. I want to know what you've accomplished, because that's what we want. See, I think, again, Doge, they got us spoiled. I mean, really, they got us spoiled, because they're not telling us what. They don't have to tell us what we're working on, what's coming in the future. They're telling us what they've already done today. And they've done more than 5 things in a day. So sending an email for the past week with 5 things is nothing for them. Well, here's another one I want to share with you about Liberation Day. So good. So good. What a great time to be alive in America. We actually have a president that is doing dramatic changes in this country. Now, 6 months from now, it's going to seem like it was overnight. It's going to seem like it. But I can't wait.
It's probably the most remarkable financial story in a generation. It is just unfolding, but it's being ignored. It's certainly being overlooked. I'm talking about the return to prosperity, the return to strong economic growth, 4% growth, or perhaps even more. We haven't seen that in years. Prosperity is more than just statistics. It's a feeling. It is an atmosphere. The money's flowing, opportunities opening up, record number of people leaving their jobs and going for something better. There's optimism in the air. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, this is something you've not seen before. All you've known is slow growth and social division. Suddenly, Trump's in the White House talking up America, the economy's booming, and incomes are rising. Look at this. 42% feel better off now than in the Obama years. Only 26% say they're worse off. That is an extraordinary reversal. Remember Ronald Reagan? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Mr. Trump could say that right now. So now the president's on his trip to Europe. He'll hold contentious meetings and he'll be met with insult after insult. The media will lap it up. They hate him, just like they hate Judge Kavanaugh. You will hear very little about the extraordinary success of the Trump economic program. Oh, what a shame. What a media disgrace. Because prosperity is the glue that will bind America together again. And so far, that is President Trump's outstanding success.
Outstanding success. Outstanding success. Why would anyone fight against that? Why would anyone say no to anything he just said? I mean, the country's like getting back on track. The country's starting to look like America again. Why would anyone be against that? I really question it. I really question that. Why would anyone fight against that? Well, I'm going to tell you why. The Democrats, they will fight against it because they don't want President Trump to look good. They want to try to damage everything that President Trump is doing. They don't want him to be successful because with President Trump being successful, it only means that the Democrats were completely wrong forever. And they don't want that. Okay, you know what? Today's Wednesday. Normally I do this on Fridays, and I don't know if anyone's going to even call me, but just in case, I want to know. My phone number is 319-527-3453. What do you think about today being Liberation Day? Would you like to see President Trump to go ahead and do an executive order and make it that it's a national holiday? And then, of course, maybe we can get, he should do executive order, right? He should do one. I'm just sitting there thinking about, Congress, in order to make it law, to keep it there forever, they would have to, pass it, codify it. But let's just say President Trump does an executive order, make today Liberation Day, and we recognize it, national holiday, Liberation Day, America First Day, basically, right? Same thing. And the Democrats get a Democrat president in the future, and they said they're going to do an executive order to undo America First. Do you think that would happen? The phone line is open, 319-527-3453. I'm just kind of curious. Normally I do the phone line on Fridays, but I'm just kind of curious. Maybe someone will give me a call and say, yeah, that's a great idea. It should be Liberation Day should be a national holiday. So I'm going to leave the phone number up for just a little bit here so people can make the decision if they want to give me a call or not. Look, I don't bite that hard. So, by all means, give me a call. Give me a call. I really want to know. Well, I want to share something else about the poll numbers that are coming out. And this was a poll number that they're showing on Face the Nation. And I forget where they got this poll from. Maybe it's it there. I can't see it. It's too small for me to read it. But I want y'all to listen to this because more people in this country because we're starting to figure out the tariffs. It's a CBS News poll. Thank you so much. So because more people are starting to understand what President Trump is talking about when he's implementing these tariffs, more people are starting to support it.
A new CBS News poll shows a majority of Americans support imposing tariffs on imported goods, and more have an optimistic view of the economy since the election.
Oh, well, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. More people are supporting it. And I'm telling you what, I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to make a prediction. After people start realizing that we have so many jobs here, and, companies are saying, look, come work here, come work here. We need you to come work here. Come. Right? People are going to be like, my goodness. I mean, you know how easy it is to get a job? Because the last 4 years, I can't tell you how many people that I've heard just complain about not being able to get a job. And then, of course, you had the Biden administration. Instead of them actually doing things like President Trump is doing to stimulate the economy, to get more businesses, to hire more Americans, they would hire people to work in the federal government. This is what their whole goal was, to get people to work in the federal government. And now that President Trump is there, and these people that were in the federal government, I would go to say maybe 60% of them shouldn't have been there in the first place. 60%. Because they were just there collecting the check, and they can't even send an email. What you do last week, 5 things that you accomplished last week, can't even do that. I want to share this. This gentleman here is an American hero because he's not backing down to the radical left. This guy that's following this this congressman is asking him about President Trump and with DOJ, how they're removing people from the federal government, letting them go. And he was part of the HHS, right? He was part of HHS. He was let go to go work in the private sector. And listen to the response. Have you seen this, Shannon?
I have.
Listen to the response from the congressman. Not backing down.
These are USAID workers.
Hi, I was a worker at HHS. I was fired illegally on February 14th. There are many people who are not getting social service programs, especially people with disabilities. Are you going to do anything to stop what's happening?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it?
You probably deserved it.
I deserved it.
Dude, that's
wow.
sad.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Why did I deserve it?
Because you seem like a clown.
Okay, sir, you shouldn't have said that.
Oh my goodness. You know what? This image right here, Shannon, right there. People are taking that and putting it as their profile picture.
Really? That's so classic. You seem like a clown.
You seem like funny. A clown.
It's so funny.
He's just mad. He just wants he wants me. He wants you to pay him to sit on his butt all day long, not do anything. And I notice they do this all the time. They try to bring in, handicapped people and, disabled people, same thing. They try to always bring that in there to try to build up sympathy. Like, how dare you fire all of these people? How dare you do such a thing? I would go on a whim. They didn't show his face, but I would say that he wasn't handicapped. He's sitting there following the congressman. No problems of following him around. None at all. None at all. Well, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Denise, she says, finally found you, Will. Well, thank you so much, Denise. Denise is watching on Rumble. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would, please hit the thumbs up for me, no matter how you're watching the video. Hit the thumbs up, share the video. Okay, I got something else I want to play for y'all. And again, look, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here. Sometimes people get shy to call in. I don't know why. Like Will's, he likes to bite, 319-527-3453. We're live right now. It is April the 2nd, 2025, and it's about to be 11:30 Central. So if you want to holler at me. Call me now before my producer shuts the phone line down. Okay, I want to share something else with you about Liberation Day. And things are changing. The Democrats see positive things what President Trump is doing. They do fear mongering, saying, oh my goodness, this is going to cause everything that you have to go up. It's going to cause everything you own to go up. Well, there's already been some countries that have eliminated the tariffs. And so, okay, well, hold on, Mr. President. Mr. President, hold on. We'll eliminate all the tariffs. We're going to get rid of all of them. See, now they want to play fair. See, as long as you have Democrats like Joe Biden and the rest of them in there, Kamala Harris would have been there, their tariffs probably wouldn't have went up 200%, and they wouldn't, the administration would have never said anything about it. 200%. I mean, that's the trajectory that the country was on. Thank God President Trump is there. Thank God President Trump is there. In the name of Jesus, thank you, God. 100%.
Tomorrow's Liberation Day. He's going to make some serious moves if these countries do not treat our products fairly. And you know, Stuart, if you look at a report that I was just reviewing recently of 132 different countries and 600,000 different products, U.S. exporters pay higher tariffs on 2/3 of those products. That is unacceptable. That is not a level playing field. That is not free and fair trade.
No, it's not free and fair trade.
Yeah, and that's why today's Liberation Day.
Yes.
You know, everyone's coming out and listen, there are some Republicans and Trump actually, did a little, I guess he talked about it today where some Republicans are, not so, or not that they're not happy with the tariffs, but they're hesitant about the tariffs just because they live in areas where costs could go up for a little bit until things level out. And so they're kind of, hesitant to be, yes, I'm so excited for tariffs. But listen, other countries are taking advantage of us. It was not a free and fair trade. Countries are taking advantage of the United States. And Trump is saying, listen, let's level the playing field. He's not saying I'm going above and beyond your tariffs. He says, I'm meeting your tariffs where you're at. Your tariffs are 25% on us. Ours are going to be 25% on you. Is that not fair? It seems fair to me.
Some of them were doing 150% against us.
What's her name?
And then President Trump saying, okay, well, I'm going to raise it to 25. And then they start screaming about that. Make it make sense,
yeah,
please.
Actually,
wait, hold on, wait a minute. Let me say that again.
One was 700%.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is unbelievable. 150% and climbing against us. And then President Trump says, well, I'm going to just raise it 25%. Oh, my goodness. How dare you? How dare you do such a thing? All right. We actually have someone calling us. Thank you so much.
Yes, we do. We got Victoria from Indiana.
Awesome. Hey, Victoria. Thank you so much for the call.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm not really in a talkative mood, but I thought, you know what? I'll help kick this off.
Why are you not in a talkative mood?
It's just cold and dreary here in Southeast or Indiana.
Well, you know what? Well, you know what, Victoria? I'm in Texas, and it gets brutally hot here. So, by all means, send it to me.
Yeah,
I'll take it from you.
I went walking.
I'll be happy to take it from you.
And it was already 74 degrees at 7:30.
Yeah, I'll take it from you.
Yeah, but listen, it's warm outside right now, but we got some bad weather coming up from your direction, so y'all be looking for the weather. Check it out, Shannon, later when you got time.
Yeah, I know this weekend we have a little dip in the, but a lot of times it hits Dallas above us. It doesn't come all the way down to us.
Yeah, we're just
right.
north of
like
Boston.
this little weird pocket.
This is coming up from south of y'all. That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah, Saturday we do have like 80% chance rain, and it does dip down. I saw that.
I just seen it on the Weatherman Plus. I watch him and just the local channels, and that's what I heard. So
well, that's cool.
But anyways, let's get.
What do you think about Liberation Day, Victoria?
Oh, I honestly think it's great. You know, I've always felt that we're still connected to England. We are, and this will stop it for sure. I want my true freedom. That's what I want. We've never had our true freedom.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So I'm ready. I can't wait. And you know, I don't like the electric cars, the little houses, and a lot of stuff that Elon does, but I believe he's sincere on what he's doing, and a lot of people should be grateful. But you see, I'm going to make sense of all this for you. Do you all remember when Joe Biden was campaigning and he told his audience that he was going to raise taxes by 75%.
I remember
that. My mouth hit the floor that night. I looked at my family and I said, well, if he raises it 75%, doesn't that mean 75% on the dollar? And my family's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, they're crazy. That right there. From that point on, I knew nothing was going to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about liberal logic, right?
Yeah,
he's a little out of his mind too. So sometimes he talked, and then of course, the White House would come back and go, "No, that's not true. We have to correct what Biden said." Do you remember that? They kept doing
They constantly have to do a rebuttal of what Joe Biden said. Constantly.
Hey, Shannon, that thing. Oh, that thing.
Yeah, right.
Aren't you so happy we don't have to hear that or see that or I don't have anything for you because it's not my binder any longer?
Oh my gosh, I cannot watch press conferences. Every time Will pulled her up, it just would make me cringe.
I mean, we actually have a White House and a cabinet and a press secretary and a president that actually talks common sense.
Oh, and clearly we can understand them.
Yep, right, absolutely. Right. Well, hey, Victoria, thank you so much for the call.
That teleprompter is what got me too.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he was that teleprompter would beat him up every time.
All right, well,
so would.
Thank you.
Thanks for
God bless.
It off.
Yep.
God bless you too.
God bless. All right, we have caller. The last 4 numbers are 0081. You're on the line.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, hello. My name's Terry. I'm calling. Right now. I'm in New York, the state of New York.
Oh, nice. Well, Terry, thank you so much. What do you think? You like Liberation Day or what?
Liberation Day. It's a day we've all been waiting for a long time, as far as I'm concerned. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know exactly what it is, or what it means, or what the whole thing is, but when it, the way that you guys are talking about it and stuff, it sounds like it's a really cool thing for us and everything like that, and to get our independence back. I gotta say though,
go ahead.
I'm watching on your video right now on Rumble. I don't know if I've ever seen a studio that's got the nice tech that you got right now. Holy Lord. Full disclosure, I am a 100% a tech guy, and they call me Tech Head Terry. The song will play now.
Wow. Look, Terry, you know what? Thank you so much for acknowledging. You know what? Joe Biden, even Hochul, Governor Hochul in New York, and come on, Hochul. You know what she said? Yeah. Like, people like me don't even know what a computer is. Like, I've never even seen a computer, and the thing is, the entire studio, I have to say that I connected everything, the networking, the everything. I mean, I did it all,
You did all of this tech?
I did all of it.
Are you telling me that you've done all the closed circuit stuff? And I noticed one thing I appreciate about it is you've got about 11 monitors here, including one of the biggest ones I've ever seen that has a bunch of different images of the same monitors that you have in the studio as well.
They all serve a purpose.
They all serve a purpose, and I think the main purpose is to make it look like one of the coolest studios in the whole darn world, as far as I'm concerned. I just saw your shirt on there. Is that funny. Ironic? Or is that meant ironically?
Because a lot of people don't know who Uncle Tom was. A lot of people have this, perception, and every time people are like, well, they would call me that, thinking that they're saying something hateful towards me or trying to denigrate me. And then I asked the question, well, do you even know who Uncle Tom was? And I asked him, I said, well, have you ever read Harriet Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin? It's a book. And they kind of like look at me, and I'm like, well, who told you what Uncle Tom was about? And what is it about? And they don't ever answer it, right? Let me just ask you before I tell you, what have you heard about Uncle Tom?
Well, I know I didn't know that it was a story. I heard of it just as like a concept of somebody who maybe perhaps is not serving the best interest of the group that he calls himself a part of, and is potentially selling them out in a way that is actually benefiting the oppressors and allowing them to continue to oppress a minority group because they're able to point to these people who are part of that same minority group who claim they are not being oppressed, and that allows the oppression of the entire group to continue unabided.
Right. So when I used to think the same thing until I actually read Harriet Stowe, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Uncle Tom was a black man that was helping black people that fled from the Democrat plantation. He helped them reach freedom. So, so
he's anti-Democrat?
Well, the Democrats
cool. So he's MAGA? You telling me Uncle Tom was MAGA?
Come
cool.
on.
I like to hear that.
Come on. Because Uncle Tom is what the Democrats were the only ones that owned slaves in this country. If we're going to be, they were the only ones.
Yeah. Republicans never
did.
Never owned slaves.
Never did.
That's it.
Yeah. So the thing was, he was a hero. He was a hero.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Are you being serious about Republicans never owning slaves?
Yeah, 100%. Go look it up.
Oh. I'll look it up.
Look it up 100%.
But what kind of, I see you got a Shure. Is that a SM7B that you're working with there?
SM7D, I'm not sure what that is.
That's a Shure microphone, and it's, to be honest, you just said you're a big tech guy, and then I asked you about the microphone, and you didn't even know the model
I couldn't tell. I thought you said my shirt.
Yeah, I thought you said a shirt too.
No.
I thought you said my
Shure microphone.
He said Shure.
Yeah, it is a Shure mic. Yeah.
But I guess my big issue that I have is that I see this and I see you have one of the best studios. Your sound's fantastic. That's always going to be the case when you got the Shure SM7B. That's the industry standard. And it seems like you got all kind of stuff going on, and you're pouring a lot of your blood, sweat, and tears into this whole thing and making it a really wonderful product. And then at the end of the day, you're on the 5th page of Rumble. You got to click through 5 pages to get to you. There's only 50 people here watching. What is going on here?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Why are we not getting more people? Why is it that you're putting all of this effort into it to say, hey, freedom and everything, and it's all about Liberation Day and all MAGA and all that stuff, and it's like, it seems like it's like almost like nobody cares what you're saying. What the hell?
Yeah, you know what? They've made some changes on Rumble, and the page, especially people watching.
Oh, I went to the other things as well. It's just, you're just not getting a lot of traction, and I disagree I think you should be getting a lot of traction, because I think that full disclosure, I've never heard your show. I watch it with the sound off because I just like the tech. But when I see the tech setup here and what you got going on here, I think this show should have at least 100 people watching. But it seems like you're not getting a lot of traction.
It used to be until they made the change. And I've always asked people, when you're watching, same thing on YouTube, everywhere, if you hit the thumbs up on Rumble, it actually helps the algorithm. It tells the algorithm to push it.
Is there a chance everyone's just sort of tired of this same crap all the time, every day, just the same bull crap every day? And there's about a million of you guys doing the same thing, all repeating the exact same messages.
When I first started doing this, I started doing this 5 years ago, and there's a lot of people doing it today. So there's a lot of people, but you know what? There's so much happening.
But maybe
you can go to different shows, and you can always hear something different on every show.
We need to evolve the whole medium, possibly evolve the medium and make it less boring, because I hate to say it, but when there's a million people all saying the same, just regurgitating the same boring messaging, it becomes really boring for people, and then I think that's what happens in the end. And then you got all this fantastic.
There's a lot of that. That's why a lot of people are not even watching the mainstream media any longer, because you can go on X and you go on Rumble, you can get everything what they're already saying.
Well,
they're saying it 2 days later.
Mainstream media.
Yeah.
A lot more than 50 people watching mainstream media. I'm telling you, people aren't watching the stuff you're doing. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we're actually right now we're on X American News on X, and we have about 3,600 people watching us on
So
there.
it just depends on the location.
The numbers on X are clearly, obviously not real numbers. I mean, everyone's known that forever. That's not an accurate representation of real people who are actually sitting there and watching and listening to you.
Yeah. Well, hey,
you
Terry.
Understand how that?
I get it. I get it. Well, hey, I got a lot of other callers.
Mean or anything like that.
No. You know what, Terry? You're speaking truth. I mean, why am I gonna be mad at you?
No, yeah.
Hey, Terry, thank you so much for the call, though. I really appreciate it.
All right.
God bless.
God bless. All right. Let's go to Patrick.
Yep, we have Patrick from Ohio.
Hey, Patrick. Thank you so much for the call.
Wow. Hi, Will. Hi, Shannon. And how's the cat?
The cat's not in here today.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't think I saw.
Probably somewhere
the cat,
sleeping.
So, they speak about, I'm a history buff. Yeah, I'm the youthful 73-year-old Willie singer. Remember me?
Yes, I do.
Or otherwise known on YouTube on my channel as Jugga Willie. I'm sorry. I had to put that up there. Jugga Willie. I only have 50 subscribers. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. It really is. I'm a nobody, Will. It's all right. I can live with that because I'm somebody to God. That's all that matters.
100%.
So
100%.
Yeah, but that last caller, your studio is amazing, man. I'd be in heaven. My second thing I love is technology and computers.
Mm-hmm.
I started in 1970 working on computers. Is when I first started. I was in college.
Oh, wow.
And I've been doing it for probably 50 years now.
Yeah,
I did a couple of computer jobs.
Yeah.
I did work ITT for the state of Ohio. I had hundreds of computers. I had kids' labs and all kinds of stuff. And that was cool, but I had to retire. It got overwhelming.
Yeah, I did IT for like 20 plus years. I did IT for 20 plus years. So I know my way around a computer a little bit. So, but let me ask you, Patrick, because we're going to run out of time. I want to ask you, what do you think about Liberation Day?
Well, I may sound ignorant, but I don't know what really. I've been watching a lot of old movies on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of my old movies and stuff, catching up. And I'm sorry, I'm ignorant today. Please explain Liberation Day.
Well, basically, Liberation Day is President Trump is going to apply the tariffs, that the same amount of tariffs that these other countries are applying to us, he's going to apply it to them. And what's happened so far is that a lot of these countries are removing the tariffs because they don't want President Trump to do it. And it's basically just to be fair.
I think I heard something about that now. But hey, I didn't know if this is an interesting fact. I don't know. You remember I'm a history buff. Man, I can't get enough of it. But do you know who acquired the papers of Tesla? Right?
No.
All his documents.
Oh, you're talking about the original Tesla.
The original Nikola Tesla, who was a genius. He got screwed over by Edison. The first showing for the electric chair Edison came up with the electric chair to try to discredit Tesla because Tesla wanted to run with DC and Edison was it was the other way around. Edison wanted DC and Tesla wanted AC because you'd have to put a station on every block if they ran at DC. Well, the first thing that Edison did was he electrocuted an elephant with electricity in a public display to turn people against AC. Okay, that was one thing. And the actual electric chair was promoted by Edison on that basis. Now, who do you think acquired the papers of Nikola Tesla?
Tell us.
Yeah. Huh?
Tell us.
Donald Trump's uncle.
Really?
Yes, really. Didn't know that. Not many people know. Yeah, he got all the blueprints, everything. Because Nikola Tesla, he died in poverty. He was put up in a hotel in his last years. He was penniless, and there was people that felt sorry for him, and they put him up in a hotel. And so that's what happened with that. It's interesting how history is, you know?
Yeah, it really is. Well, hey, Patrick, I got more callers on here. We're going to run out of time. Thank you so much for the call. No, it's a blessing for everyone to call me.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
God bless.
Hey, you know what? You guys, you keep on going because you guys are great, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
All right,
bye-bye.
God bless. Bye.
All right, well, the next caller, the last four numbers are 3553.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Will. Hey, Shannon.
Hey.
My name's Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
And I'm not too far from you guys. I'm in a small town in Texas called Yoakum, right next to Shiner.
Okay.
And I've been following you since, oh my gosh, years when you used to go down to the border. And I would be like praying for you because I would see all these people and everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, please be safe. Please be safe.
Did you see the last video where I went to the Tesla protest?
No, I missed that one. I needed to look for it.
Oh my goodness, it was pretty wild.
I bet it was.
It was pretty wild. I went, you know me. I like to go into right in the middle of the lines then, and they were screaming at me.
I'm like, oh.
I lost my hearing for 2 days, 2.5 days.
Oh, geez.
I could not. I mean, I could barely hear anything, and I just had this constant ring. At first, I thought it was permanently damaged because of what they were doing to me. But you know, it's the nature of the beast, I guess. Next time I come, have some earplugs.
Right, I know, and that probably still wouldn't mute them out totally, but
it'll help protect my eardrums.
First thing I want to say is I love you guys. You guys are a blessing for getting the information out there because the regular media, they suck. We'll just be honest. And also want to say that Happy Liberation Day.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
I look forward to what happens this time next year.
Yeah. I know, right?
I think it's going to be different.
I feel for these people that are so blinded and they don't want... I know nobody's acceptable of change to begin with, but they just need to buckle up and enjoy the ride and get to the other side.
I think you're right. I think people have a hard time with change, you know, especially our government. You know, you always hear them saying, well, this is the way it's been for 200 years. So why change now? Which is why probably our computer systems at the government level are archaic, right? They literally have one bank for the whole entire government. That was insane when Elon was saying that. I mean, we just get caught in a rut. But the thing is technology has grown, and yet it's made it able for people to hack our government systems. Now, tariffs at one point had a purpose, but today they keep doing the tariffs, and now there's not free and fair trade.
Right.
So we have to step up and make sure that trade is fair again.
And let me add,
I think Trump is right to ask for it.
Yeah, let me add this in there too, because right after the World War II, remember Japan, we allowed Japan to put, I think it was like 100% tariffs so they can rebuild their nation. 100% tariffs. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, actually helped. That's, you know, America being generous. So say, okay, we'll do 100% tariffs. We'll allow it to happen. But now that needs to go away. And it's been that way ever since. And they're a rich nation. Yeah. It's been that way ever since. And now President Trump said it all comes to an end. It comes to an end today. And to my understanding, today, about 2 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Central, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, wait a minute. Yeah, 1 o'clock Central. President Trump is going to make an announcement today, being that it's Liberation Day. And it would be nice if he does an executive order today.
We'll see.
It would be nice. I don't know if he's going to, but if he did executive order today saying that he's making a national holiday, America First Day basically is what it is. And I love it.
Yes. A Happy New Year.
Yeah, you know, it's going to be like, we need to have fireworks, everything.
Shoot, now if he could get rid of the Internal Revenue Service, that would be my celebration.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But
get rid of the IRS.
This is a way to maybe perhaps do that in the future.
Yep. All right. You said your name was Jenny, right?
Jenny, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm just north of Austin. So, you know, you've heard of Round Rock? Pflugerville?
Yes, around Pflugerville.
Yeah, I'm in Pflugerville. Yep, I'm in Pflugerville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, you're close.
Awesome, awesome.
Well, thank you so much for the call, Jenny.
Yeah, thanks, Jenny.
You guys be blessed, and I hope God sends His protection over you guys and just overflows His favor upon you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the blessings. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Last caller, Will. The last four numbers are 6247. You're on the line.
Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing, Will?
Who am I talking to? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Porterville, California.
This voice sounds familiar.
I don't know if I'm a number one fan, but I've been watching you for a while. I really appreciate everything you do. I pray for you guys, and I was really kind of worried. I haven't seen you on Facebook for a while, and I was like, I saw a video you put out. I don't remember when, but I saw it yesterday that you were asking what's going on with Facebook. How they've been doing you.
Yes, you know what? What was your name again?
Yes. Ramon Barrera.
Ramon. Okay. Yeah. You know what, Ramon? Thank you so much. You know what? I did a short video on Facebook talking about how this completely, did me bad. It's real bad what they've done. And I was just asking for people for help. And thank you so much for acknowledging that.
Yes, I prayed for you yesterday. I work at a funeral home, and I was like, took some time to watch your video, and I was like, Lord, I know sometimes when truth hits, it really changes people's minds, and some people don't like it. They hate truth. Yeah. And as we know, as believers, that our fight is not with physical. It's a spiritual war we go through. But we need to pray for one another. And I'm glad for you guys. I'm proud of you guys. I'm really happy, and I bless you guys in the name of Jesus.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Ramon.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Yeah, the name of Jesus is so powerful. Thank you so much.
It is powerful, and I just asked for prayers in our area in California. I was so close to maybe relocating to Texas or something, but for whatever reason, God says no, not yet. It's not your time.
Yeah.
So we need to stand. We need to stand strong. And of course, we know that this world is not for us. We have a better world coming for us. But as we're here, we need to fight. We need to stand for our children, especially. And I just think that we need to unite more and in prayer. And I just thank you so much. This is one of the resources that I use and share. And I'm proud of you guys. I have no words to say, but I just want to say that I love you guys, man. Thank you so much. God bless you guys.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless you. Stay safe. So let me ask you this. You're in Southern California?
I'm in Central California.
Central. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically
kind of Fresno area.
Yes. I'm south of Fresno.
Okay.
So basically all the groceries, all the stuff that you guys,
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. So let me ask you, the reason why I'm asking, so are you planning on going to San Francisco anytime soon? And if you do, don't speed in San Francisco. Have you heard about what they're doing in San Francisco if you get caught speeding?
I only go there when I pick up a body, or take a body to the hospital. That's all I do. I don't have no plans.
I'm just, the whole thought of that, for you, it's like, it's nothing out of the ordinary, but just to hear you say it, right?
It's like bodies, picking up bodies.
I'm going to pick up bodies. You probably make a lot of trips, Oakland, San Francisco. But anyway, in San Francisco, if you're caught speeding, depending on who you are, they'll charge you based on who you are for the speeding ticket. So if you're white, you're going to have to pay all of it. If you're successful in your business, you have to pay all of it. But if you're, black and you're poor and you're homeless, you don't have to pay all of the ticket. So it's not equal. It's not equal law any longer.
Then I better tell my boss to give me an older model hearse, like a 1920 hearse.
Roll around looking broke.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, thank you so much for the call. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah. God bless you, man. We'll be in touch.
God bless. Take care. I should have asked him, was he in the hearse right now? Because I can hear him in the vehicle.
Yeah, probably. We don't need to know the details.
Thank you. Well, look at that. Diddy, thank you so much for the Rumble rant. Wow. This is Will. April 2nd, 1972 was when our government set up the Conage Act. I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to have to look it up. Just to be honest with you, full transparency here. I most definitely have to look that up. But thank you so much for that Rumble rant. God bless you. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate it. And actually, I haven't even looked at YouTube, because I know sometimes people will bless me on YouTube with a super chat. And have you looked on peel.net, Shannon? Okay. And I haven't looked at peel.net either. But if you would, please hit the thumbs up, no matter how you're watching this. Hitting that thumbs up actually makes a difference in the algorithms. It's a true thing. It's a true thing, because it really helps out. All right. Hey, if you would, please go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. uniteamericafirst.com. Support me. Sign up for the free newsletter. uniteamericafirst.com/donate. One thing I thought about asking people throughout the show is that my megaphone is 7 years old. 7 years?
I think it's older.
No,
than that,
it's
isn't
10
it?
years.
Yeah, because you're in California.
It's
We've been
10
here 6 years.
Can you hand it to me, Shannon? It's over there.
Yeah.
So my megaphone is 10 years. So I'm going to ask. I thought about not asking, but I'm going to ask. Maybe someone will help me out here. So when I go to the different events, I take my megaphone with me, and I've had this megaphone for 10 years, and it doesn't work anymore. I got it at Harbor Freight, so it wasn't really like terribly expensive. From what I remember, I think it was like $40 or something like that. It wasn't one of the cheap ones either. It was, it's really nice. It's still like really nice condition, actually. It just doesn't produce the sound any longer. It really sounds like when I'm talking through it, like I'm going through the Matrix. It's really interesting. I put my United America First stickers on top of it, all on the inside of it. So if I ever set it down and someone picked it up and like, no, this is my megaphone. I call it a megaphone. That's what it is. Not megaphone, but megaphone. So if you want to help me get another one, I would greatly appreciate it. If you go to uniteamericafirst.com, right there, /donate, you can see it. There's single options right there that you see. And then there's my physical address as well. Or you could do monthly support at the very top of that. However God puts it on your heart to help me out, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. With that said, everybody, thank you so much. God bless you. Stay safe out there. There's another Tesla event coming up this weekend, is the reason why I'm talking about the megaphone. So there's another one coming up this week. God bless everyone. See you tomorrow. Take care.